almost eating my table. Shit. Hey guys, how you doing? Today I'm going to be starting the CMAX2 build. How are you doing? Matthias RC's there. Well, was there. He did put a comment. Green Frog RC is there. Oh, Matthias is back. Yes. CSL RC. Lorne, how you doing? So basically I'm going to start the build, and my truck is not going to look the same. It's the same Land Rover body, but this is the one that GCM Racing actually built. Mine's gonna have a little bit of a different paint job. You'll see what I'm gonna do. It is gonna be a restoration kind of view I want to do. So basically, it's gonna be body work done on it, the old paint job, and some body work patch. It should not have any dents because those patches were done. So that's what I want to create, is bodywork style with sanding, that it was just sanded, ready for paint, in other words. So the doors are going to be a different color, the back door is going to be a different color, the hood's going to be a different color. So what I want to try to do is the main frame is the same one, but other parts from other trucks were added to this to actually do the truck, and it's ready to get painted. So that's basically what I'm going to try to do. I might change my mind halfway through it, or I might not. That's where I want to go right now. So it should be, to me, it should be interesting. So I did do an unboxing for this video, link up above, in the future. Once you watch this in replay, I'll put the link there. And let's go, and this is the box. These are the bead locks I'm thinking of using for it, or I might go with the same wheels that he's actually got on his. So he's got these old looking rims on it, which are nice, and they should work also, but I got these 1.55 rims. They're the mini mag scale rims for them. They're the 10 hole 5 lugs on here, so I might put these on. I don't know. These did not come with the kit, by the way. So I'll put these aside. And I am going to put a 20 kilogram servo on it. I am going to go with the, I got this kit to put on my Gen 8 kit pack that I got, that I was supposed to do a military truck. Never used it, so now I'm going to use it on this build. So basically, this is the first brushless for rock crawlers that I've actually used. La TV en marche plus. My wife says she's got a problem with the TV. So it's going to be the quick one, 10BL60. And this one actually has the Rock Shock 1750 brushless. So that should be kind of a cool kit. So please stand by. I'll be right back. Sorry about that technical difficulty upstairs. It's all fixed now. The husband came to the rescue and the TV upstairs is working right now, which was weird. I had to turn off the power bar and do a reset on the TV and everything came back. So wife is happy now. Happy wife, happy life. So let's go back to the top view. RC basher boards on brake. Good on you. No, it does not come with the body, Matthias. The body is actually separate. So you buy the kit. The kit comes with this. You still have to buy the electronics. You still have to buy the pistol grip, the remote control for it. And you also have to buy the body. So basically, I got the body with the interior also. Ended up costing me about $250 Canadian. So, and I do have the manual here that we're going to go through it, and step by step we're going to start building it. So basically the tool list that you need is Hex, some Hex 1.5, 2 and 2.5, and some thread lockers. So the first step is actually doing the, let's zoom out, zoom in, there we go. So the first step is actually installing the Crossmember. So let's clear some stuff here because we don't need all this stuff right now. We will later. And now I got to find my Crossmember, which I believe this is the Crossmember here. And we'll put all the rest aside. And I need my rails, which I know are completely in the bottom. So I got my rails, and some things fell down. So I'll just push everything onto that side. So that's the first part. So we'll go through the parts as we go to make sure I'm actually grabbing the right part. And like I showed in my scale, my unboxing of this, this is the transmission for it, which is a scale transmission. So I will be looking for a 3D printed motor for this. So hopefully I'm going to try to put an original motor that used to be in there originally. Unless I go crazy and do a custom. Don't know. But for now, that's what we're going to put. This and the Crossmember. These two parts. And I have my scissors. So now, because the way they're packed, they're actually vacuumed or kind of glued there, packaged there and over here. So there's no way for me to open up one end to actually take them out. So I do have to kind of go like this way, and then I should be able to take it out. Here's one rail. Green Frog, I believe that is the Range Rover body. Yes, it is a Range Rover body from, man, can't remember. I got it from Boom Racing anyways, Asia Tees. So, and I got the interior for it. So I got my 4 screws, I got my body mount. And now it's pretty easy in the sense that we have to put the chassis rails the same way as the picture shows. So I'm turning this around, making sure this is the front, popping it up that way and popping it up that way. And then I have this that's going to go in between. Now, I don't think this has any... because if I look at it this way, I have 4 holes on one side here, which goes all the way through, and these one on top go all the way through also. So there's no particular way that you have to put these. Just put them there, unscrew them. And we're going to need some thread locks, and I think I need my 2mm for this. And there we go. Yes, JS scale body. That's it. That's exactly what I got for it from Asia Tees. Matthias is in the hunt for Ranger Rover or a D10 body. Are you looking for used or brand new? So these actually have, oh, they have holes here. So on one side, you have CMAX2, like you can see here. And then on the other side, there's actually a groove. So it's pretty self-explanatory of where everything goes. So that mount actually goes inside the hole. So let's put that in there. And yes, I am working without a drill. Hey Asgard, how you doing? Thank you for sharing the picture on Facebook for my stream. Appreciate it. I appreciate the share, and I appreciate you stopping by. So anytime you have metal on metal, it's always nice to put some thread locks. Anytime you go screw into plastic, you don't have to put thread locks. So I'm just giving a nice little tug on here and putting a little bead of thread lock. So now I'm going to be putting this guy on here. So this is the rear mount, the rear cross member. Keep that screw loose for now until I put the other one. So what's everybody doing for the weekend? This is actually a long weekend for us in Ontario. Monday is actually a day off. So, oh, I went a little thick there on the Loctite on this one. But I can always take it off. So I'm just going to put it flat on there to make sure that I'm not forcing it or putting it crisscross kind of. That both are exactly flat, exactly the same all the way through. And I'll clean up my little mess here that I have. And these are all aluminum, very high grade aluminum, and they are black. If you want them shiny, I think he does. GCM can do a special order. And there we go. So this one's done. So now we can go to the next step. And the next step is the servo mount. So let me find the servo mount. I had it earlier. I got it. I found it. Sorry about that. Hey, Bucks RC World, I'm building a frame. I'm building a frame. I found the servo mount. So let's open this little guy up. What's nice in the way they've actually packaged all these is you have the servo mount and you actually have the screws that you'll require for everything, all packaged and sealed in one pack. So when you're working on one thing, you just find the pack, dump everything down, and you should be able to work on it. So you don't have to worry, oh, is this exactly the right screw and what's going on. So real quick, there's two ways you can set this one up. You can set it up here. This is the top setup, the tab up for JK rear hole. But what I actually have on it is actually, I knew it was going to go up. I have the tab down for Rover, and I have to put it in the front hole. So depending on what body you do have like this. If you build a JK, you put it there and you put it in a rear hole. And me, it's tab down and the front hole that I actually have to use for my Rover body. So there's a tab. So I have to go tab down and front. And then I have to find the 4 little tiny screws. That actually goes in the top. You have some 3mm and you have some 2mm screws. So does this one take 2 or 1.5? That one is 1.5. I sometimes take a little piece of plastic and I sometimes dip my put some Loctite directly onto the onto a piece of plastic, and then I dip my screw into it. It's one way I do it sometimes. I'm in the hunt for a 3D motor for my build, for this build. So I've got to start to see if somebody's going to donate one, or to see if I'm going to buy one somewhere. And somebody donates it, I'm going to do some advertising for him on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and things like that. So you help me out, I help you out. It's all about helping each other out. I do have my servo already for it, but there's no reason for me to install it. But when I come to the motor, I will install the motor into the plate, because I don't want to have to take the transmission back out. Mind you, it's pretty easy to take the transmission in and out of this. It's already starting to look like a truck. Go. Front servo mount is done. And it's written CMAX2 right here. Sweet. Now these screws are to actually mount the servo onto here. And I will not put Loctite on here right away, but I will put the screws on here so I don't lose them, and I know that's where they go. Actually, I do have the servo. Why don't I just slap it on there? Not sure which direction it goes, so I'll just put the screws loose on it. I never built this chassis before, so it's the first for me, and usually I play it safe and I don't do a live. But this time I said, oh, what the heck, I'm going to do a live. If I do a mistake, hopefully somebody's going to catch it and let me know. If not, everything's going to go fine. So there we go, the 4 screws on there. And the next step is let's find out where. Front shock tower, 2 right and 2 left with the screws. So let me find the shock towers. There we go. Shock towers are in their own bag. There is two small 6mm screw and a longer one to actually hold the shock. So let's open her up. And we'll keep this one here to do my little trick that I usually do, which is dump the Loctite onto there. So usually what I do is I take a good dab of Loctite, put it onto the piece. Like that eliminates me from opening this guy up and squeezing it all the time. So the front shock tower actually goes right here on these two screws here. Right here. And there's a little tiny tab that goes out like this. Oh, we have some people doing shout outs already. Hey Rodney, how you doing? Little dab of Loctite. Now all these little parts are all aluminum and all Canadian made here in Canada at GCM Racing. And his main shop is actually in Bell's Corner. That's where he manufactures pretty much everything. The only thing that's not manufactured here in Canada is actually the transmission and the axles. The axles are actually 3D printed somewhere else. It's way faster like this, putting the Loctite onto the screw, especially just dipping it and then squeezing it all the time. So again here, I'm just going to take the small screw for the shock and just put it on top for now. CK, you have to put shout out in one word. Don't put a space between the shout and the out. And then it will put a link to your into the live video chat. There we go. Front tower shock is done. Now let's go see what's next page. Next page is the track bar mount. Left side of the Jeep or the right side of the Toyota. Oh, but what side is mine? It doesn't say. Well, I guess if it's not on the right side, we'll put it back on the other side later. And we'll put it on the right side, I think. There we go. Some people are doing shout outs. Go check out their channel, guys, and go sub to them and help each other out. That's why I do these shout outs. So this is the bag, and you get 3 screws with them. One for the bar that's going to go across, and 2 to actually hold it there. So let me go through the manual real quick and see where the which side the axle is for the panhard for my body. That's the rear. And where's the front? Or did we pass the front already? Okay, here's the front. There's the panhard. Panhard on this side going up. I guess I'll look at my I'll look at my axle real quick. So my front axle is here, and my panhard is on that side, so which means it's on the left side. That means my panhard goes on to the right. So that works. Just looking at the axle, because you can actually order these the right or the left for the pumpkin. So depending on what side your pumpkin is, you got to put this on the right side or on the left side. Yes, I enabled Nightbot, and Nightbot can do some pretty neat little things, and that's one of the features that I like, that I enabled it to actually do the shot out. There's another thing I'm trying to do. It actually, while it gives you a shot out, it actually tells you how many subs you got, but I can't figure that one out. So here, wonder if it's got thread on both sides, and I think it does. No, only on one side. So I'll put this in here for now, just so I don't lose it. And I did not put any thread lock on it. So there we go. We have the bar. It's actually on there. And now we can install the rear shock tower. Now, when you notice these shock towers, especially from the rear to the front, you can notice that they're not up like most cars. These are very scale-looking drivetrain, and to me that's important, and that's the reason I got this truck, is for the scale look of it. So let me find the rear shock towers. So here we have the rear shock towers and a whole bunch of screws on it. Every time I open these packages, I always feel like, okay, I'm gonna lose a screw somewhere. When you take it out of the bag, I always double check on the bag. Thanks, Eileen RC Duke. Thanks for dropping by. Rodney Bell, thank you also for dropping by. Everybody, thank you for dropping by. CK, there's a lot of new people that are actually dropping by today, which is nice because there's people that are usually not up when I do my live streams at night. So these, they actually have a little bump on them. So it's pretty hard to see, but it does have a little notch there. So that goes up. And that goes behind the motor mount. Oh, actually in front of the motor mount, sorry. So this goes forward like this. When I look at the drawing, it drops, and it goes there. Cool. And I need, for the longest ones, and we'll get some Loctite, put it at the end of the screw. I almost dropped my screw. And then we'll put these guy on. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up while you're in here. Appreciate it. It helps the algorithm to, when I go live or when I upload a video, for the YouTube people, they like that. One shock tower done. Let's do the other one. Just imagine if I had a drill, I'd be going in you guys' ear all the time. This is much better. And what's nice with this kit, because everything is pre-threaded, so going through the chassis rail, you don't need a nut at the other side. So the only thing you need is just a screw directly onto the frame. All these are pre-threaded for a 3mm nut, which makes it way easier and faster when you're building something. And we have everybody in the chat saying hi to everybody. That's cool. Everybody be friendly. There we go. Slowly but surely it's becoming a frame, and we'll put these shock mounts screws into here loose for now. And if everything goes well this afternoon, I should start painting. I did prime my body the other day, but I should be painting it this afternoon. So it's going to be cool. Let's see what the next step is. Oh, building links. I need 6 of these. So I need 6 suspension links and some front upper links. There's a steering. So I could bring out my caliper for this, or just use a ruler. Since it's 100mm and 110, the only one that's a little tricky is this one, 61.75. I might bring my caliper out to measure, but for now, we'll just take the links out and build them. So the links basically come in bags like this. So here's the 4. And here's a little tiny one, 61.5, upper, lower. So all these have to be made in 100mm. So we'll open up these and do these for now. And there's also these for the front steering. So we'll keep those aside for now. But the instruction just tells me to do these and these. So we'll put this aside and we'll build these links. Everybody's fun time. Building links. Not sure what the screws are for. We'll soon find out. Well, they're to attach the link onto here, that I know. But we don't need them right away. So these are all 100. So I do have my ruler here that I can use to actually measure. And basically you take these and you start twisting them in there. It is kind of tough to get them going, but what I like using is a pair of pliers. But instead of using a pair of pliers, I use these shock pliers. These are very nice because they will not hurt the shaft or make marks on it. So it's kind of cool. Hey, RC Nexter, nice to see you here. then I can just start twisting them into place. And having a pair of pliers like this, it really helps me push on these. And we'll put the other side on. If you do not want to build your own kit, you can order them already pre-built. So GCM does have pre-builds, or will put it together for you and ship it to you completely assembled. Yes, it is. Actually, it's pretty darn nice outside. I was there earlier and it's friggin' nice outside. I was supposed to go crawling, but I decided to do this instead because I just wanted to get it started. And like I mentioned this afternoon, I'm going to go start painting the body for this thing. And it is a hard body. So, no mark, no scuff. Cool. So here, how big are we so far? I think I still need to go. Oh yeah, I'm at 110 right now, and I need to be at 100. So I basically have to hide all the thread almost. So one thing I like to do once it's started, you just put your driver in there, and then you just start twisting. And because you're holding it pretty nice and tight here, it doesn't hurt your fingers. These shock tower things, pliers really help me. They're expensive, but they're very helpful. Let's see what we're at now. That's 0, and we're at 112. 102, sorry. Oh. Assembling or crawling, tough call. Yes, definitely. Like I got a call from my buddy here at Holly's, where we do our crawl events, and the new trail that I built with him. And he called me up. He says, okay, I got some guys coming over. Are you coming over? And my wife got me to clean the house a little bit this morning. I went a little too tight. So after cleaning the house, I wanted to go live. But then he sent me the invite, and I already had this plan. So maybe next time, or maybe later. There we go. 110, 100 millimeter, one done. 4 to go. Big Head's in there. Oh yeah, there's Big Head. Hey, how you doing, Big Head? I am putting together my CMAX2 from GCM Racing. This is a very scale truck with tiny tires. Basically, it's going to look similar to this truck when it's done, but a different body job. So tires nice and tuck in there. They should be about 3.5 inch tires, or a little maybe 3.7 inch tires. So nice and small. So it should be interesting. Okay, Frank, talk less and build more. Come on. Now that I know that I almost got to go all the way to the back of the thread, I'm just going to do this all one side right now, all the way up to it, then do the other side. This is where, if this was not a live video, I would just build them and re-record after once everything is done. But now you get to see me do it all in one in one shot, which is going to take a little longer. And I do not know how long this video is going to go, because we still have to build the axles and build a bunch of other links. To me, the links are not the hardest thing, but it's the hardest thing on the hand, because this, I am pushing it on it hard, and it is hurting my hand a little bit. That's pretty good. Phone's ringing. Big head, everything is expensive in Canada. Yeah, yes. But if you take your money and bring it to Canada and buy the same kit, to me it might come up to about the same thing for money. So when you compare to how much it costs there for your money, and by the time you bring your money on this side and buy it here, you're getting it for about the same rate for your money. It's just our money is worth a little bit less than yours right now. So I remember when money used to be par. It was nice because a lot of things were cheaper in the States. So we just drove across and got some stuff in the States. But now you can't do that because everything is the same. Our money's worth less. Yes, it is the exchange rate. Because if you compare how much your money's worth to how much a kit is worth here and convert your money, your US money to here, we should do the experiment. You'll see that we're paying about the same thing you are for a kit. It's just our money is not worth a lot. It's worth less. 1.75 or 0.75, I think. So 75 cents to the dollar. Oh, this one's a little short. Three links done. I was going to do a type of RC talk and have people in the panel come in and chit-chat with me while I was doing this, but last time, for some odd reason, some people were telling me they were getting echoes, so I didn't want to take a chance of doing it today, just in case. I do have to do some other test. Come on there, buddy. Is it me that's getting tired? Maybe I should have built the links before coming here, going live. But like that, it shows you guys what takes the longest to actually build when you're building these. These are pretty nice links. They're small, but these are very tough pieces of steel. Thanks, Rodney. You too, have a great day. And don't forget, like Nightbot says, don't forget a thumbs up. Hey, looks like I got a spare link. A spare ball. Because I've got all four here. It's weird, sometimes they go on so easy and sometimes they don't. And let's see what this one says. Do we have a winner? Oh yeah. So there we go. 4 at 100. And we'll keep all these screws on top for now to attach the links later. I did not take my screw catcher off out. Maybe I should get a different pad with a nice logo in the back and things like that. Oh, thank you very much, Rodney. Really appreciate it. Thanks for the donation. Awesome of you to do this. And let's put the other links together. Oh. That's interesting. For the front, here it says 100, 100. There's two at 100, but the instruction says okay, if I'm running 313 millimeters, that's what I'm looking at the instruction right now, and that's why I couldn't figure out. It says 6, but when I was counting here, I had 4, and then I had 4 more here, and then I had 4 more here, so that's more than 6. But here's the wheelbase. So if you have a truck that has 323 millimeter, you put it at 110, and if you're running 313, you put them at a 100. So depending on what length you have, the front one, no matter what, you put 100, and me, I'm running 313. So when you look at the truck, the Land Rover is 313. So I have to go with these guys. So I did put them at 100, so I dismiss this. I don't have to worry about this. And now I'll run the front one. So that's why I was in my head. I was going, okay, when do I build the 110? But I don't have to. And thank you very much, Rodney Bell. Really appreciate it. Now, don't forget, if you want a shout out, you gotta put shout out in one word. So 3 more at 100 and 1 very small one. I think the links takes the longest, I think. And I'm saying that, but I don't have my axles built yet. Come on. Don't want to go in there? I'll take another one. You don't want to go. There we go. She needed to be persuaded. Oh my God, I'm using the bad finger to actually twist it. I'm going to change finger just in case. Don't want people to start saying, hey, you're using the wrong finger when you're twisting it. Ow, that hurt my hand. Better than hurting my hand than hurting my fingers. So we have 8 people watching. Thank you very much. And don't forget to leave a thumbs up. We have 12 thumbs up. Thank you very much. Just crazy sometimes how easy it is to go in, and sometimes it doesn't want to bother going in. This is the CMAX2 chassis from GCM Racing, and right now I'm actually building all the links for the front wheels, the front axle, and the rear axles. I think that one's going to be a little tight. That one's going to be a little much, I think. Put that on the hole. Yep. So I'll untwist this one turn. half a turn. Do a 1 turn. Hey, Kevin Gibbs, how you doing? Welcome in. Finally building the CMAX2 from GCM Racing. And if everything goes good, this afternoon I'm going to start painting the body for it. So I need 7 of these at 100mm. Eileen RC Duke is there, CK, Kevin Gibbs, all my regulars are there. Thank you very much for the support. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to thumbs up. Kevin Gibbs. No, it's got to be like this. He gives a... There we go, Kevin. Poof, poof, poof. CK. Also give us a punch to all the guys there. Hey Joe, how you doing? Joe was doing some speed run. And he went triple digit, 103 I think, or 105. I can't remember what I saw. But good on you. Go check him out. Put a shout out in one word and people can see your YouTube page and go and visit. Twist, 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 twist. No, gotta hold it tighter or else it's gonna go back. Green Frog is just wrenching himself. Good. You finishing your build that you were doing? Yeah, I decided to go live while I was doing this. Instead of doing a build video, I decided to go live and do a live build video instead. So, get rid of these screws because I don't need them for now. Put him here. They're all the same anyways. Almost done. Almost done. Coffee break. Three o'clock. I'm still drinking coffee. Guess it's better than drinking beer. Well, it all depends who you ask. I almost bought myself a 6-pack at the store yesterday. Went to the in-laws. Actually, it was Saturday. Went to in-laws. And in Quebec, they have beer in the grocery stores. So, in Ontario too, now we starting to get some. So, went by the aisle and I saw some and I go, oh, should I not? And I just decided not to. I usually drink around Christmas time and things like that, or just basically special occasion, or at the restaurant with friends and family. But usually at home, it's pretty rare that I have a beer. Almost 2 there. Still drinking coffee. Yeah, it's 2:55 here. Third cup of coffee? Cool. Yeah, this is my second one, but mind you, it's a big travel mug. It's like a 20 ounce, so it's almost like drinking 3 cups of coffee. I've slacked off quite a bit on the coffee. I used to drink more. And now for the little tiny one. 2 links. Oh, look at that. They always give you extras. Good stuff. So we'll keep these for future. In case one breaks, we can build it. And this is why it's good to have shock pliers or a set of pliers, because this is getting pretty small. There we go. Joe did the shutout thing. Rodney Bell gave me $20 earlier for the super chat. Thank you very much, saying have a great day. Come on. Starting the thread sometimes is a little tricky. You got to push a little harder. There we go. I want it starting. A dash of cinnamon in your coffee, really? It's been years since I put any sugar or anything in my coffee. I don't even put milk anymore. I take mine black. The only time, which is weird, the only time I take milk in my coffee is at the restaurant because I actually see it. But in the travel mug, where I don't see the coffee, I put it black, no milk. But as soon as it's in the cup, I have to have milk. So here I have to go at 61.75. So let's see where we're at right now. So we need to be 61.75 and we're at 65. So we need to go a little bit more. There we go. That's one side. Let's see if we need more. We're at 63. So we'll go more on this side. Let's see what that gives us. That's pretty close to 62. Actually, a little too much. Let's bring it back half a turn. This is where to be perfectly perfect, especially if they want 61.75. Let's take out my caliper. Ta-da! What everybody needs. A digital caliper. On. Oh, it still works. So let's see what we're at. So center to center, we're supposed to have, oh, let's put that, 60.6. I'm almost 61 when I go by my caliper. So let's untwist that. I have one Irish coffee every morning to knock the rust off. 2 shots. So funny. Okay, 61.48. We'll go half a turn again. Yeah, that's pretty close. 61.72. Darn, I'm supposed to have 61.75. But that'll do. Put that away. There we go. A whole bunch of links. My hand is tired now. Yes. It's very useful. I like it. Last time I did the build with my son, I took it out, and my son found it the coolest thing, the coolest toy. And he says that's one of his favorite tools to use when we had to measure the links. He goes, okay, let me measure it. Let me measure it. So he always wanted to measure them. So I should actually measure all these on the outside to see if I'm dead on. Let's just say I did, not. Okay. Next step. We've spent enough time on this, so let's go to the next step. Oh, look at that. So we're going to start assembling the front. This is the front axle. 7 ring gears and locker, 2 front and 2 rear, some bearings. So we're going to be building this now. So let's put all this up ahead and take it out of the way. All my links are the same length, so I don't have to worry too much, except for one that's a little bit off the side, off size. Okay. Now the front axle comes in a nice bag like this with all the gears and all the things there. Here's the cover for it, and 4 screws there, that's for that, and then you have 2 small screws there. So what I want to do is I want to get this guy out, and I'm going to keep these sealed up for now because that's going to be near the end that we're going to use them. Here's the axle. It is a 3D printed nylon axle, and they slide very good on the rocks, and they last a long time. I have no issue with the other one. That's what's actually under my Tonka Winnebago, and my Tonka Winnebago is actually 14.14 pounds. So it's pretty heavy, and I'm actually running these on there. And these come with different caps also. This is the Toyota cap, I believe it is. But you can get the Ford cap, so the cap's a little bit different, the cover that goes on it, so it makes your truck looks even more scale. So here we'll open up the other side and get all these little tiny bags out. I want to make sure I don't puncture all the other bags. And there we go. So the bag's out. It's out of the bag. It's out of the bag. Oh, darn. We got another bag. Got another bag with bag in the bag. And it's not like a Tamiya kit. You do get bearings. Here's the casters for it, and here's the locker for it. Oh, that's a nice locker. Not the locker, but pinion. Cool. And here's the front axles. Put that aside. So I need this guy and this guy. I'm going to need my grease. I got to find my little grease syringe. So again, that's pretty much the only parts that are not made by GCM Racing, which is a transmission and these gears. Oh, they're curved. Cool. Yes, you can just buy the axles if you want. They come in different width, so you can actually just order the axle. On his website, you can actually just order the axle separately. So these are very nice and strong gears. So here again, I have, make sure there's no more screws on there. Where's my 2mm? Oh, we need the 1.5. And these screws along. Holy cow. Why was there an extra screw? I'm not sure. Let's just unscrew them all. And again, here I recommend that you put Loctite. The high performance Tamiya kit. Yeah, the TA04, yes. Some higher brand do come on it, just like the TT02D, the one that has a D comes with bearings. There is some kits that actually comes with bearings, but most of them don't. But we're not comparing orange with oranges here. This is not the same thing at all. Hey, just little llama Laura, how are you doing? Thanks for dropping in. Don't forget to thumbs up and massive thumbs up. There you go. Thank you very much. This thing is full of oil. There we go. 6 screws. So this basically goes onto here this way. You can see the oil on it. And I can see all the way through it, so let's put a little Loctite on there. And screw her back on. So I am going to screw it, but not tight all the way on one side. I'm going to go completely across and put another screw and do it like a star pattern. You almost missed it. Yeah, and that's the reason I'm building this truck, because I want it to look one-on-one, and I want it to look like it's the truck that you actually drive to go do groceries with, and you actually take it out on the trails or take it out on the rocks. And you'd be amazed on how these actually perform on the trails. It's just like Sean's RC Adventure. He built himself a BRX-01, and he's just amazed on how well they go on the trail. And for years, my son has driven his Cross Canyon from GCM Racing, and he loves it. And he was just doing circles around everybody. So you'd be amazed how when you have a well-balanced and well-tuned truck, especially with good axles and good geometry for the suspension, how good your truck can be. Well, it is a real picture of a scale truck. And it is the one that GCM Racing built it. And he told me, once you finish your build, come with me and we'll do a run, me and you. So I'm probably going to go to Holly's or maybe a place closer to where he is to actually have some fun. There we go. Diff is built. Now my hands are full of oil. It's only going to get more oil on it. Okay, let's see what we have to go next. So these are done. So I need some bearings now, which I will get them out. Pinion bearing, add inside 5x14x5. Put that in. Add outside bearing and push all. He says to push all. Okay, so let's get this pinion out, and then we'll try to find the right bearing. I don't think I'll have to take my caliper out. Because this doesn't fit. I'm thinking these are the bearings I need. All these things. There's 6 of them. If I go back to there should be 5. These bearings are 714 3.5. These are 2x8, 5x14. So these are the guys that actually go here. So one bearing here. And one bearing here. And he says push together. Easier said than done. That one's in. But is the one inside in? No, it's not. Not yet. It's where it gets tricky. Is it in? Is it not? Hey, Curtis D, how are you doing? Looks like it's in. It's going to be very hard for you guys to see that. And now I need a bigger. There we go. So now we've dropped in the diff in there, and everything is turning. Everything is fine. Hey, Matsiausa, she's still here. Kevin Gibbs still there. Thank you for watching, guys. Really appreciate it. Now they dropped that in there. He wants me to put the gears in there and then put the cover. Everything seems to be fine. So now I need to get my cover out. Still have a lot of bearings, but that's okay. Oh, gotta switch cameras. Get the cover out. Cover has 4 screws. And I do have to put some grease. There we go. Put that one out. This one we'll keep because there's still two little tiny screws. I like keeping my baggies. Let me get my oil, my grease. So I like to use a syringe. This one has two type of grease, marine grease in there. So this is a kind of a greenish marine waterproof grease, in other words. So I like squishing it on there with a syringe. It makes a little bit less of a mess. And you can spread it more evenly. There we go. That's on there, and I can close this up. And put the 4 screws on the back. I should put some elevator music. No. Almost done. Almost done that one screw. It's going to start looking like a truck. These have pretty high gearing on it. It's just like the Team Associated Trail Walker. They have the same gearing inside. Whose guts they actually have inside, I can't remember. He told me once, but gearing on it is pretty good. I think he's got the specs on his website for that, for the gearing. I don't remember by heart because I don't give a hoot what gearing it is, as long as it works. I will try to put some chapters once this one is done on the bottom. So you can skip back to some different parts. There we go. Got some oil on it. It's got some oil near the drain plug. But she's nice and clean now. And everything turns nice and smooth. Okay, so we'll keep going with the front. Steering knuckles. And these are metal steering knuckles, just in case somebody wants to know. They are metal. Little brass bushings. Gotta like the brass bushings. Okay. So, next step is the steering knuckle. Sorry about that. Web page. There we go. Oh. Steering knuckles here. We just did that. Put the screws there. And now the next step is the steering knuckles, step 11. Now which one goes on what side? We'll soon find out. But first we've got to put some bearings in there. So the big bearing goes in the back. And basically you got to enter it straight right off the bat. It's actually easier if you put it on the shaft. So if you put it on the shaft and then you enter it, you can actually push on the shaft to actually make sure your bearing is well seated in there. Come on, little pup, get in there. There we go. It went in better once I put that bearing on the outside to help it go in there. There. Front and back are done. Now I can do the other one. The front one in, and then I can push the other one in a little easier. There we go. That one went in also easy. See you later, CK. Thanks for dropping by. Take care. Bearings are done. These theoretically should have a bearing here. But let's go see the instruction booklet, what it tells us for the next step. So I've done this. Line up the bearings and push back and front, which I've done. So that's what I was saying. It's easier when you put in this bearing also. It just lines up everything. And it's way easier to actually put it in there. Two right and left. There we go. And install the shaft. There's the bearing. So this is the part I wanted to know. So see how it goes down here, higher than what this is. So here's a long part, and here's a short part. So basically you put those together. And the brass bushing goes in there in between. And an M3 by 10. Top and bottom. Then we have other links. Okay, then we put the links together. Okay. So let's put that together. And I'm basically holding the axle the same way this is, which this is at the back. So this is at the back. I'm looking at it just like the picture was. Here's a long part that goes on the bottom. And basically, if I take this one and put it on here, this is exactly like the picture would be, which is this top part is on top. Yeah, this is pretty dark for you guys to actually see. And if I actually take the other one, it's on the other side. So let's put the long drive shaft on this side. And we need a bearing. Come on, get in there. Trying to find the hole. She's not finding the hole where to go. Come. Come, she's not finding the hole. Let's try the other side real quick. Okay, this one went in. And she is turning. Let's see if I can put the other one in and find your way through. There we go. And because this is screwed onto the plastic, I don't put Loctite. Do not put Loctite in this spot. Come on, not lined up. I gotta line it up with that hole. There we go. Don't want them too tight, or else it won't turn. Now we're going to do the other axle, the other side with the other screw. Everything is turning, yay! The other side fell off, so let's see if we can put it back in. There we go. And again, I got to make sure that I'm pointing the right way with both of them. Hey, Bob's RC, how are you doing? I'm at the axle part now. We've built the frame. I'm building the front axle, and we'll jump on the rear axle in just a few minutes. Building the GCM CMAX2 chassis. But it seems like I have a bearing left over, and I don't know why. Did I forget a step? Maybe I did. Brass bushing and screw that on. And then we got the knuckles done. Rear ones should go a little faster than this. Everything is turning. Sweet. So I don't lose the screws again. I'm going to pop these in there. Wonder if Green Frog is still building. Hey, Curtis. There. Front axle's done. But I still have one bearing. Why? Did I have to put 2 bearings in there somewhere? I don't think so. Just going through the manual real quick to see what's going on. But I don't think anything. I don't see. And now I'm gonna check. There's that part that we did. And now there's the links. Yeah, Green Frog's still building. Cool shit. Cool stuff. Not the bad word I said. Got stung. Oh boy. It's not good when you get stung. Okay. So all my links are the same. So it doesn't matter except for that very short one. So one link goes right here on top. Bottom. So he's got one link right here on this side. And again here I'm screwing in plastic, so I don't need to put Loctite. While I'm doing this, I should actually zoom in a little bit on this. You don't need to be as wide because I don't need the frame that much. So let me see if I can't zoom in for you guys real quick. Okay, that's good. Put it brighter. There we go. So I'm actually holding it this way because that's how the picture showed. And I'll show you the picture real quick. So it shows the picture here. Right beside this. And then I guess the other one goes up here on this side, on this link on the other side. And the shock actually installs on the bottom here. So what's kind of confusing is there's a spot there to hook something up and there's another spot there, but some of them are for the shocks. So this one is right beside there. And now I'm going to install the other one on the other side. And then we can install the upper link. These are always fun to line up sometime. I think they are Bauhaus RC, yes. They print them with nylon, and Chris has been using them for years from Bauhaus RC, and they're the one I actually have on my Winnebago also. So very good little axles. So that's done. And then I got one more link on this side. That one's going to be a little tougher to actually screw because it's kind of at an angle. Hey, they did think about it because the screw is actually on an angle going in, which is very helpful. There's the links for that. Which is this link. Sorry, grabbed the wrong page again. This link over here. And now I have my short one that I actually put in the front of it. So I'll grab my short one. Did you ever install these type of axles before from Bauhaus RC, Green Frog? Coffee break. There we go, that's done. And now he wants me to put the steering links. Wait, he didn't tell me to build the steering links. Unless I missed it, but I did not build the steering links yet. I have them here. And it actually tells you here the one at 135 and the other one at 58 millimeters. So let's take a quick, not a break, but let's build these. More links. Yay! These are not aluminum axles. They're actually 3D printed with a nylon. It's a nylon axle. The nylon axle actually slide better on rocks. They do have metal knuckles. These are aluminum knuckles, but the rest is all nylon. And like I said in the past, they are very strong, and that's what I have on my Winnebago. Yes, and that's the reason I put it on my Winnebago, because they're much narrower, especially the ones I use on my Winnebago. I think they're the same width as these. These are a little narrower than an SCX10 axle. So, nice axles to play with. So let's build more of these guys. There are some that are curved or they are straight. I think they're all straight, but the rod is actually curved. So screw those in there. And I believe it has to go down, so I have to twist a little bit more so that it's actually going down but straight up like this. That's what the picture shows. Let's build the other side. And then we can measure it. And I threw my piece of paper down on the ground. I'm going to have to go pick it up just to see my measurement. Okay. $135. Take my caliper out again. Oh, that's pretty dead on. Showing it off camera. But when I hold it there, and I got it over here, 135 is right there. So that's pretty dead on. Come on, get in there. There we go. And because I did not dip this in Loctite, I'm going to put some Loctite just on this side a little bit. Oh, I need a shorter one on that side. Yeah, the long one goes on the other side. Darn. I put the 12mm temporarily on the wrong side earlier. That's okay. I'll just flip it back around. So on this side where there's only one link, you only put a 12mm, which I've put now. And on the other side, you have a 20mm. And the other side, before I screw it in, and it has to point down like this. And on the other side, I have to do my small link also. So we'll do that real quick. I gotta get air conditioning down here. It's friggin' hot. Hey Garrett, how are you doing? Long time no hear. I'm finally on air and building a CMAX2 from GCM Racing here in Ottawa. Local Canadian company that does trail truck. I hope all is good with you in your new place that you went to. And I hope your health is good also. I actually had to take my trail down. I lost the right to actually go on there. I used to be able to go on there and do my trails on the private property. But the gentleman gave it to his daughter, and his daughter decided to go see lawyers. And the lawyers decided to say, no, you can't anymore. So I had to find another spot, which I did. Which is at my buddy's. It's 5 minutes from here, which is nice. There we go. Now I have to make this 58mm. And I am at 60. I still have two of your truck. One of your other truck, I actually sold it to a young guy, which has a young family. And to help him out, sold it sold the truck to him at a very good little price to help him out and his family, and it was one of his first truck, so he was very happy with that. Fred Garrett gave me some truck a few years back, and I still have the Wraith and the Twin Hammer. There we go, that's 58. And I still have the painting stuff that I bought from you also, the compressor. I've used it once. I am planning on using it again on another build soon, which is on this build, to actually do the painting of the Bondo, to make it look like Bondo. So this should be interesting. It should be fun. I'm trying to put all these together and talking to Mike at the same time and not put my big fat head in the way. Yes, I hope you're good to travel, because it would be nice to see you at Holly's, at the new place there for crawling. I know you can't walk too much, but it is a nice place, and especially in the park area. You can actually walk, and it's flat level, so there's no ground uneven, so it's good for people to actually walk down there with crutches or other devices. So there we go. So I have all my links there, just like the pretty picture. Let's see what it looks like. So just like the pretty picture. So that's done, that's done. There's a 12mm and the 20mm that I kind of screwed up earlier, so sorry about that. Let's go back. Oh, now it's time to put the shocks. So earlier I kind of had the wrong screw on the wrong side, but everything is done now. Track bar and steering link are parallel. Yepper. And now I got to put the front shocks on. So I'll switch that over, and I'll grab the bag of shocks, switch camera. So the shocks that he uses are actually the ECX brand, and they're the 1/18 shocks, the ECX 2130. These are nice little shocks. He says they come pre-filled with oil, and what he likes about them is that they don't leak and they work. So they are pretty small, and you do have other little spacers that you can use if you want them to be a little stiffer. They do have little, which we won't use. These are to go from 3mm to 2.5. Here are the shocks real quick. Now it doesn't say on the bag or on the thing how high they are, but I believe they are 60. Yes. Even from center to center I have 58. So 58mm that I have for these shocks. So now I'm going to put that in there with a 12mm screw on that side, and the other side, another 12mm on that side, and then we install it onto the truck. So let's go back to the other camera. And find my 12mm screw. I believe this is the one here. No, this is a 20. This is a 15. This is a 12. I might have used a 12 somewhere else also earlier. Okay, so I got my two 12s here. It does not say to remove this, but I believe we have to remove this little ball here on the bottom, because this is a 2.5. And there's no way that 3mm is going to fit in there. No way that fits in there. It doesn't say in the instruction to actually remove it, but there's no way that 3mm is going to fit in there. So I took it out. I am not following the instruction. Oh my God. Gonna be trouble. You have to use a caliper. It's more. I did have my caliper out earlier. I did use it. But my eyes are pretty good, so I'm using the ruler for this one. But mind you, earlier... Oh, wait a minute. The hole is a small one. It is an M2. Aha. Aha. So there's the two screws. The two M2s. Aha. So I got to put the little ball back. So you do have to follow the instruction. I wasn't reading it all the way. Trying to get this stupid screw out. So where'd that little ball go? Hello? Oh, here it is. Put that back at the end. Hey, stop falling. That one doesn't have it. That one doesn't have it. Where'd my shock go? Oh, there it is. So let's pop the ball back in there. There we go. Now I'm going to use a 2mm screw with a 1.5 driver and pop that in there. That's a long, small screw. Yes, this is very scale, and I love building these trucks, especially at the end when you finish putting it all together and it actually looks scale just like on the picture, and you drive this and you make a video of it. People actually think it's a real truck, and I've fooled so many people, government people, when I'm working and I play my videos on the big screen to test. Go on YouTube and stream one of my videos and have that playing in the background. And people are just amazed. I go, wow, this is nice. And then I tell them, yeah, it's my truck. And it goes, oh, you go cross country. I go, yeah, but these are small ones. These are 1/10. They're just radio controlled. And they're just amazed and awed of how scale they look. There we go, lined up. Yeah, when I started screwing the screw here, I noticed the hole was pretty small. That's when I noticed that I had that other bag that I actually set aside earlier. There we go. So that's done. It's starting to be a very busy axle. Very busy axle. So I'm going to take these little guys, keep them for future, but I don't think I'll need them. Future shims that I might use. And I'm going to zoom out again on this camera because now I have to install it. Come on, where's my configure? Well, sorry about that. I'm trying to get my control from my camera. There we go. Okay. Some odd reason it didn't want to go away. So now I'm going to grab my frame, and this actually goes in the front of it. So we're going to install that and install the panhard, and let's go see the instruction. So shock is installed. Let's go to the other one. So now we need a 12mm to actually hold that, and then we're going to install that on top. And I should have little shims somewhere. Where are these little shims? Because the screws won't fit into those little spacers I had earlier. Is there another bag? Wondering where these bushings are. I'll have to look somewhere else for it to see if they're anywhere. So the outer links goes there, and the inner link goes there, the top link. But what I want to find is these little bushings. And I do not see them anywhere. Strange. Well, they do say to use a 2.5, so maybe that 2.5 that's up here. These screws that came with it are 2.5s. I thought they were 3. Let's see if they go into this bushings for those shocks. Oh, yes, they do. So those little tiny bushing that came with the shocks that I said I'll put aside for now actually fits. See, somebody knows what they're doing. Sure ain't me. And again here, we're going to need a little bit of Loctite and a 2mm driver. And the first shock is going up. There we go. See, I thought these little screws that I put in earlier were actually 3mm, but they're actually 2.5. RTFM. Read the friggin' manual. Put some Loctite. A little shim. Put the shim in the shock first. There we go. Yeah, I wonder if Garrett built other trucks. I know he was building some a while back, but he sold a lot of different stuff, so I don't know if he got completely out of the hobby or if he's still building some stuff on the side. Sometimes life throws you a curve ball and you end up doing other stuff, so need more Loctite. Put the pan hard in its place. Yeah, on the Wraith of Garrett, the Wraith I got from you actually blew the motor for some odd reason. I don't know. But the motor blew, so I had to change it, which is odd. I never blew any of those motors before. So the servo is going to go there. Now we're going to attach the front link on the inside, which is going to be here. And we need a so here's how I figured they were 2.5, and this is the bushing I was looking for. So it's 2.5, 3mm just didn't fit. So now we're going to install these upper links, and I need 14mm screw. So we're going to find upper is a 12 and the other one are 14. So why such a big difference for the lower? I don't know. So let's see what we got here. I think this is a 20. Yes. So here's a 14. Here's a 14. This should be a 12. And here's a 12. Okay. So the 12 goes on the upper link. And the upper link goes right there. It's going to be kind of tricky to screw in there. Wonder if my longer one fits. So I got to take out my MIPs because this one's just not long enough. This one might work a little bit better. And I think one of the main reason is they're giving me a 12mm here is because it becomes pretty flush to the outside, which is nice. And the other one, even if they're 14mm, it doesn't matter. They're going to stick out at the other end. So the lower link goes way on the bottom here. Lots of different little holes here. And I did put some Loctite. One more link to put. Now, depending on the kit you're building or the truck you're building, you can actually put leaves. If you actually use the CMAX, the original CMAX, there's a lot of different versions. But I believe the CMAX2 is only for links. It doesn't work with the leaf sets. But if you want leaves, there's no problem. You can actually build it with the CMAX, the original CMAX, which is the one I have on my Tonka Winnebago. So there we go. Everything is installed. And suspension is working. Ooh, look at that. We got flex. Can you flex? And no bump steer. No bump steer. The steering is not even installed. Don't know if there's bump steers. Shouldn't. Had to leave the hobby, but love how to follow the video build. Cool. Still watching your channel. Thank you very much. Hemistorm. Yeah, Hemistorm has been busy. He's came back, which is nice. RC Spark. Yeah, RC Spark is back also, and he's actually in East Canada now, which is nice. Cool. Well, thank you for watching us for the longest time. So now we're missing something in the rear. And then we can install the scale transmission. Scale transmission is really cool. And that's going to be kind of fun to do. So there's a transmission and all the gears that goes in it. So we're going to install that after we finish the rear. So put that aside for now. Starting to have too much crap in my way. So let's go to the manual. We've got to follow the steps of the manual. Clicked on the wrong button. There's the thing. We've got to trim the end covers. So the end covers are actually attached on it, and we got to trim those off. So there I am on the wrong camera again. So I've taken this off. This is the cover. So now we got to, these were 3D printed onto here, so we got to take these off. And we have the bag inside of a bag. And all the nice metals. Here's my bearings. Just taking everything out, prepping everything. Yeah, it's sad for some people having to get out of the hobby because of a health issue, and that's what happened with Fred. Got into the hobby because he needed something to do in the hospital, so he started building a kit. And when he finished building the kit, he used it a little bit, but still did not feel good enough to go outside and play with them. So he actually had to get rid of some of the stuff he had. And he knows I had my trail, and I do lend some of the trucks. Sometime I go to some events, I bring them, and I just have it sitting there for people. And I've used it, I think, for about 4 or 5 times last year when people came over and their truck actually breaks. So I actually turned around and had that truck, his truck, sitting there. And I told people, hey, if your truck breaks, you can borrow these. You can use these. And that's what happened last year. Is one of the guys was just getting into the hobby. And he really liked Fred's truck, the SCX-10. So he was just starting to get in the hobby. And I told him, hey, if you want to help me out, and I'm thinking of getting this. And I got a different kit for it. I can't remember what I got, but I basically gave it to him at a pretty good price for him to get started in the hobby. So he was very happy with it, and everybody was happy. I was happy. So, and now the truck is being used all the time. So I'm just trying to clean up the pins here. That's there, that's that. Now I have to take all this apart again. Just checking something out here. Okay, you get the bearings out. Okay, coffee break. Coffee break. Good coffee. Now I like drinking it in that mug because it stays warm for the longest time. So I'm thinking last time when I built it, I might have put the wrong bearing somewhere. Why do I have an extra one? I don't know. So I'm just squishing the bearings together here. Pushing the bearing in there. Now I can actually push the other one in there. Come on, get in there. It's just not wanting to go. Trying to push that in there. Come on. These two, that one. Should be that one that goes in there, because the other one is way too small. So let me just go here. Web page. We'll just zoom out so we can go to the other one. This is the one we had earlier. Okay, so we had to do this for the front and the rear. So there's the big bearing. Inside bearing, 5 by 15, 14. Just going to measure the bearing real quick. Inside one is 14 millimeter. So that is the outside one. Inside one. That one is good on that side. But this inside one here is being very temperamental on coming in. No push. Oh, really? So I don't have to push it. Well, that makes no sense because it's not sticking out. Oh, push all at the end. Okay. Once it's in, push all. Maybe I'm not pushing hard enough. Trying to push. I'm trying to push. This bearing is in here, and now it tells you to push. But I'm gonna try something to persuade it to go in. trying to push. She's not going. She doesn't want to go. What could I use to push? She's not going. She's not going in. I'm trying to pry it in. Push it in. Come on. You can do it. It is slowly coming in there. Maybe I gotta hammer it in. She's not going. If I get mad at it, it'll go in. Things that make you want to go, huh? I just want to have fun. She's not even going in. Bearing's still there. Two-hour stream for Frank building? Darn, I've already been building this for 2 hours? Darn. Why isn't this going in? I do have the right bearing, I'm pretty sure. Take my caliper out and measure the bearing to make sure, because something is not working. Okay, 13.98. And it's supposed to be 5. 4.99. On the inside, it's supposed to be 5. So this is the right bearing that actually goes there. But she doesn't want to go in. Maybe if I put a little bit of grease around the edge to persuade it to go in. Grease doesn't hurt anybody. Try and put a little bit of grease in there just to butter up the where the bearing goes in and sits. And now he says once you put the bearing there, you push. Because theoretically you're going in straight when you have the other bearing there. But she's not going. Go. Go. Darn. Any ideas? Any ideas how to push this in there? I've been banging it a little bit. I've been banging her. trying to push her in there. And I've been trying to pry her also. To actually bring it in a little bit. There, now I actually have it in a little deeper than before. Can actually put that in there now. Check the other bearing. I did. I do have the right bearing. For some odd reason, she's not going in. But now I'm going to try to do this off camera because I got a better handle on it. Oh, something just went in. It just went in a little deeper. I got a better grip when I'm putting it closer to my body, and now the shaft went in a little deeper, which is good. So now I can actually grab it and push it more in. There we go. Oh, she really went in now. And I think that grease that I put really helped it. And I think I'm in all the way. And I'll know in a little bit. Well, the other dry shaft, I'm actually going to have to take it apart because I believe I put the wrong bearing on the inside. So I will have to take it apart and change the inner bearing right underneath the pinion inside. Because I screwed up. But hey, it won't be the first time. And it's not going to be the last. So now we're going to put the locker on there. It went in, took a while, but I had to bring everything closer to my body because pushing everything far away was a little trickier, but it did go in. Thank you very much. 1/4 inch deep socket works well. Yeah, well, that's what I was trying to put it on the bearing here and actually pushing on it, but I was trying to do everything on camera, but that turned out to be harder than anticipated. So brought it closer to my body and I did get it in. Got the rear axle to do, then the transmission. Maybe I should have did this in a couple parts. Oh, 425 already. Wow. This is taking me longer than I thought. So I guess I got to hurry up now. Thank you everybody for tuning in and having me on while we're actually streaming. So really appreciate it. Let's see how many thumbs up we got so far. 21 likes. Thank you very much. 14 people watching right now. That's awesome. Thank you guys. Now we're going to do the second axle, which is the rear. Tony 2 times needs to be watching. Tony's busy moving right now. He's got big trucks. And his Winnebago has got a big trailer in the back. So he's a busy guy. Hopefully he finds his house. He was thinking of buying a house over there, but hasn't heard back from the realtor last time I talked to him. But hopefully everything's going to turn out for him, or else he's going there and he's going to have to live in his camper until he actually finds a place. Hey, Welsh Rob, how you doing? Thank you for the thumbs up. Really appreciate it. $22 thumbs up now. Cool, thank you. Yeah, I'm not the fastest of builder. Like I mentioned, I don't bother doing a drill, so I guess this does take a little longer. But I like taking my time in enjoying the build, and that's why I wanted to do this one live, just for the hell of it, just to show, like right now I had problem putting the bearing in, just to show truly what are the good things when you're building and the bad things. So sometimes everything runs smooth and sometimes they don't. And I know that Kevin Gibbs actually wants to get a kit like this. I don't know if it's the CMAX2 or the CMAX he wants to get. Both are very good kits. It's just a CMAX2 is so much more versatile, which means that if you build it one way one year, you can take it apart and build links another time, or put leaf springs on it another time. You can change it and modify it so much. And I believe the CMAX2 is only links that they provide, but I'm sure that somebody could modify something and put leaves. But everything they supply is only links right now, or coil spring. Not a problem, Fred. Glad you could tune in. There we go, locker's done. Now if I drop it in there with the proper bearings, I should see if my pinion is actually sitting right. So if I drop this in there, everything's going forward and backward. But is it sitting there deep enough? Put the cover on, find out. I don't think it's deep enough. So I got to push it in a little bit deeper. I need my cover off. Need the cover to take them off. So I need to go a little bit deeper in. I'm trying. There we go. AZ Froggy's doing himself a shout out. That's awesome. If you type in shout out, it will give you a shout out. Just gotta go a little deeper. Okay, now she's moving nice, smooth both ways, front. So sitting here about to play some Forza 4. Cool. Oh, Nitro Freak's in the house. Hooray. Now I'm going to take my syringe out and put some marine grease. These marine grease, the green one, actually comes from Fred. That was in his kit. I ran out of mine, so I started using his. So what was in his kit, I inherited of all his tools and all his extra little gadget or extra little things. So put a whole bunch of grease in there. Put the cover on. There we go. Everything went in there, no problem. Now I'm going to take these 4 screws, and I believe they should be all the, let's see what measurement those screws have to be for the cover. .5 by 16. Oh, really? I didn't know there were 2.5s for those. Where are they? So these are the 4 here for the cover. This should be 16mm. Yep. So Nitro Freak, this is building a crawler or a scale truck. These is a GCM CMAX chassis. These are actually very scale looking trucks, just like you saw in the cover picture. This is going to be a truck that I'm building right now, and I'll show you real quick. It's basically the Land Rover, the original one. Nice and heavy little body, and it is going to have small tires like that. So it's actually going to look like a truck that you actually take out to the grocery store all the time. So now I'm at the portion of building the rear axle, and then we'll put it on, and then we'll put the drivetrain on, and then we should be done. I had a little bit of trouble putting one of the bearings in here, but it finally went in, and I realized I put the wrong bearing on the other one. But I'll fix that. As long as I noticed, and I'll do that off camera. It is a fun kit to build, and building it is half the fun. After that is customizing it and making it look scale and making it your own. That's what I like about doing these builds. A lot of people, what they do also, and when they're all apart here, is you take your paintbrush gun and or airbrush and actually weather these. You can actually weather them and put earth onto them and making it look old or rust and greasy. You put oil, grease, and things like that on it. So yeah, this one is nice and smooth. Yeah, this one is running nice. So let's go back to my instruction book and see where I was for the rear. So I did put the gears in there, so I had to go back at the beginning of the instruction to actually do that, and now I trimmed this off. Now we're going to install the bearing here at this side and put the cover on with some N24. So let's do that. Patina, yes, that's correct, patina. They what? Oh. So I'm trying to grab it. Ah, there we go. And now the cover goes on it. Then I'm going to have to find the two little tiny screws that covers that, which are here. So they're M2 by 4mm. There's 4 of them right here. Nice and tiny. Tiny screws for tiny trucks. Come out, wherever you are. There we go. Man, these are small. These are tiny. And the ones for the body are even tinier. Some of these screws for the body are just stupid tiny. So again, you're screwing on nylon, so you do have to be careful of how tight you put these. You do have to look and see how far that screw is actually going in. And when you reach the end of it, you just stop, because it's there. It's going to stop. So I'll put the other side on. Try to find the hole. Come on, get in there. There we go. Oh yeah. I don't know. I should practice more on the patina finish, but it's a time thing, and it's the more you practice, the more you do it, the better you get at it. And to me, it's a time issue, and I don't do enough. So definitely a grocery getter. Oh yeah, me or your stream have a lot of lag. Yeah, well, basically when you guys type, I say it after, and yes, there is a lot of delay. So right now I just saw Kevin Gibbs right axle screws. Axle screws and hinges screws are my nemesis. So there we go. That's all installed. And she's turning. And she's greased up. You saw me put some grease in there. Okay, so that's done. So now we got to put the links on there. So let's go to the instruction book. The end cover these were put, and now the next one is this little bushing that I have to put there. But just so I don't lose them, I will not put them in right away, because while I'm building it, I will be flipping it right to left, but I'll put them aside for now. But actually install the screws. So I need 3 14mm screws, 4 of them, M3 by 14, to install all that. And then some M212, which are still in the bag. So let me get the 14mm screws. Okay. Okay, these are 14mm. 1, 2, 3. I believe this would be 4. There we go. And now we need some links. again, you're screwing in nylon, so you do have to be careful. And as soon as the butt of the head actually hits the nylon, you stop screwing, or else you will strip it. So pay attention to what you do. Oh, just got a message. I told Chris I was doing this from GCM Racing. I was hoping he was going to drop into the chat. But I know he's out of town, so... Way easier links to install than the front one. The front one is so busy. And I like the fact that these links are not like super huge and thick. They look more scale this way. There we go. 4 links are installed. Little tiny screws for the shock. Take the 1.5, install the shock. That's a very skinny screw. There we go. One side done. Well, almost. And now we do the other side. And then we're going to install it on the chassis. EX7 and break 100 with it. Well, good luck. Hope you don't get a lot of traffic like you did last night, or not last night, but on the last video. Man, there was a lot of traffic. You had to wait, and it was scary having your truck far away like that and cars beside it, and you could see people were slowing down to see, okay, what the heck's going on? So okay. Just checking all my screws and what I got to do. So now that this is done, that's done. Now we're going to attach it. So again, 12mm and 14mm that I need. 12, I need one more 14. That means I must have installed a 14 somewhere else when I needed it. Where is my screw? I got a very long one. I got a 20 that's left over. I put a screw that I wasn't supposed to somewhere else, so I'm going to open up my trusty screw bin and get myself a 14. There we go. Problem solved. I solved the problem. Just like that. Okay. So, if I put that like that, we'll install the shocks on top first. Put a little bit of Loctite. Put the bushing on top of the truck. Pop that in there. Use the right driver. And pop in the shock. Almost done. Almost done the drivetrain. Okay, see you in a bit, Nitro Freak. Oh. I got thumbs for fingers. Little bit of Loctite. Pop the shock in. One thing I hate sometimes when you do videos for YouTube is the angle you have to work on, because usually I'd flip everything over and I'd have everything closer to my body, so it makes it so much easier to work with. But sometimes when you work on videos, you don't have a choice of how to place yourself. Okay, so we'll take the two long ones for the outside one. Hey Robert, how you doing? Thanks for dropping by. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up on your way in or on your way out. Really appreciate it. One link done. Flip that around. $4.49. Man, this is taking me longer than I anticipated. I said that a few times already. Do the upper link way up here. And because this one is such on a big angle, or on an angle that you have to hold the driver, I might as well start it by hand. Like that I know the screw actually is going to be nice and straight. And then I'll tighten it a little bit with the... I really like working with a frame that's like this. The whole frame is threaded, so you're not using a nut. So it makes it so much easier and such nice to work with, because everything, and I mentioned that earlier, everything is pre-threaded for M3 hardware. So you're not using little nuts on it. So put just some thread locks and everything is there. So now I have suspension in the front and suspension in the back. Just like that. And because this is scale truck, you don't need like 100mm suspension. You can change these to 80mm. It will jack up your truck and things like that, but it will change a little bit the geometry of this. People don't realize that if you put longer shocks, you do have to change the length of your links. So the upper links are going to change, or your lower links are going to change. One or the other has to change because you're changing the geometry of it, because this pumpkin that comes out has to be the same size all the time. So that's that with that. And I still have to open up this, but I'll do that offline to actually change a bearing, because I know for a fact I put the wrong bearing in there. But I can do that later. So now, what's the next step? So that's done. And I did put the bushing. I did follow the instruction. That's done. Next one is this. And I guess I could put the hex on there, and that will hold my little bushings in there. I like the fact that they give you the hex that actually has a set screw onto there. Makes it way easier. And there's the motor plate. This is a fixed pinion for the motor. And then we install the rest of the stuff. Cool. So let's do that right now, just like the instruction says. So they give you the hex, and they do have set screws to actually put them. So we'll put those right away. And again, this is a very small bag with very small pieces. And my mat is black. I guess I gotta get a colored one. Here are the X, which, like I said, I like that they have the set screw on there. Like that, you don't lose anything. So I do have my two small little bushings here that I have to put in the rear. And it sits right in there. Man, that looks kind of cool. Nice and flush. It makes everything flush. Thanks, Robert. Really appreciate you stopping by. RC Master, how are you doing? Hey, there's Sean's RC Adventure. We talked about you a little bit earlier. So now we're going to put this on there. And we're going to flip this so I can see the set screw. Put some Loctite on my set screw. There we go. This thing is not falling off anymore. No more losing hex on the trail. Again, I'll put my little bushing. Put the pin. Put the hex. And put some Loctite. Where's my Loctite? There's my Loctite. Have a good day, Robert. Thanks for stopping by again. Now we'll do the front. Do I keep going to do the scale transmission? That's my next thing I'm debating. Do I keep going or stop the stream and keep the drivetrain on a separate video? I didn't think it was going to take me this long, but 2 hours so far. Shouldn't take that long to build a transmission, but I do want to put the motor on there, which is that brushless motor I showed at the beginning. The 1750, I believe it is. Thank you very much. I know Sean wanted to see this video, but it might be a little long for him to watch all over again. But it's nice to have it play when you're twiggling or building some stuff. And there we go. So the hexes are on there. So I think that 14mm screw that I took earlier probably went here. It's the one for the panhard. I believe that's what happened. Let me go check something. Yes, it is supposed to be a 20mm over here, and I still have it here. So I think I put a short one. That's where my 14mm went in the front. I can change that later. Okay, that's done. That's done. Now the transmission. Transmission. You'll drive it on your, watch it on your drive home. Come on, don't. I hope you don't get into an accident. You gotta concentrate on the road, not on the. Be safe on the ride, on the drive home, guys. Be safe. So there's a nice, sexy scale transmission. Making sure the bag is empty before I throw it out. That's his skid plate, motor mount plate that he does. This is fix drivetrain, so fix pinion. So you don't have to worry. The only thing you have to worry is how deep you actually put this, and it shows you in the instruction. But I have to take all these screws off just to get access to it and actually put the gears in there. So that. Here's a little pin, which is going to show me in the manual what to do with it. Let's open this guy up. $5 LRT2 transmission T-Case combo kit. What's nice with this kit is it does come with the transfer case that you actually put on it, so you don't have to worry. And they do have this long shaft that they got on there. Usually when you buy this from RC 4-wheel drive, it's a different transmission, and this shaft is very small, so you cannot put their transfer case on it. So here's some more gears. Oh, nice and greasy for that part. Put the phone behind the steering wheel. Then you're all good. Just be safe. That's all I have to say. Just be safe. So the motor that it is going to be a brushless system. I'm going to use a quick run TEN-SCTE ESC, and I'm putting this 10 shock motor, which is the 906, which is going to be the 1750. So this is a brushless, but very smooth. I've heard very good thing with this. It's a 6-pole motor, 6-pole 9-slot. So it supports a lot of torque. So it's supposed to be very nice. Can't wait to actually try it. And I've tried to order another one of these motors, and everybody's out. So very hard to get these motors for some odd reason. And you get stickers. So this should be a nice addition to this. So let's take this apart real quick. And these go pretty quick to take off. They're not that long. But there's a lot of screws to take off. This is neat because it's actually bolted on just like a real transmission would be bolted onto the car. So there's a lot of screws around around the transmission. And I'll find the manual real quick and show you guys. So here's a motor plate. So you got to take off the motor plate on it. and then adjust your motor, which we'll do. I do have the motor, so I didn't want to put the whole thing drivetrain on the truck and have to take it off since I have the motor. And this is the motor I was going to put on my military build for the chassis, Gen 8 chassis that I got, which I never did, but I still have. That's a project that will probably come back, but for now I'll put this motor onto this truck. And it's going to be my first brushless truck that I actually have. So, brushless trail truck. So all the screws are off. So if I pull on this, the whole thing comes out like this. So, and you have a small gear, but you have this that comes out. And now you have to put your motor and have to put the pinion on it. These are all for the transfer case gears. That's for that. I should have some screws for the motor somewhere. Yeah, these are the screws for the motor. And there should be a set screw already in there. Yes, there is. I'll take it out, put some Loctite. So when you put a 3D motor on here, anybody knows if my wire has to be up or down? To me, theoretically, they should go down. One slot. Well, okay, what's going on? 6 pole, 9 slot, probably not censored. No, it is not censored. Not censored for this motor. That's why you don't need it censored, because it's got 9 slot. So there's no cogging on this. It's pretty good. That's what I've heard anyways. Kevin Gibbs, I don't know I didn't know they made 6 slot. What's the difference between the 5 slot and 6? Yeah, Green Frog is right. There is 1 slot difference. I'm not sure. This is 6 pole, 9 slots. So smoother, the better. She normally like when the wire is up. Wire location depend on chassis clearance and I don't know. When I look at his drawing, they seem to be pointing up, and he's got a brushless system. So let's see, where's the hole? The hole is there. So it's either going to be up or down. Maybe I should have messaged him and find out if I put it up or down. We'll put them up. If I have to change it, I'll have to take it apart again, but we shall see. Not much of a choice. Oh, I need my 2.5 now. Put some Loctite, make sure that motor doesn't move. So I am putting it up. Maybe I should have put the pinion on first, but they say no. They say put the motor on and then put the pinion. So I'm following the instruction. If I can just find the hole. How do I find the hole? I can't find the hole. Yes, I did find it. Let's put some air around it, and you'll find the hole. It's under the hood. Yeah, but I do want to put a 3D printed engine on here. So that's why I'm wondering if those wires are going to be in the way. But we'll see. If I have to flip it, I'll take it apart and flip it around. So these are pretty tight. So there's no way you can go up or down with the motor. They go pretty right where it is. Now let's take this off and put some Loctite on it. And now they say that when you put this on, you have to put it equal to the other gear. So I actually put it equal to that other gear. So let's go see the manual. And we'll go to the next page. So there we go. The pinion is installed and tied on here. Just like the drawing. And now they say reinstall this back onto here. Come on, find the gearing. There we go. Had to turn it a little bit. And now, if I actually put this at the back of it, I should be able to turn. Everything seems to be turning fine. There we go. Now I got to put the transmission back onto the motor plate. Yeah, I'll just make sure when I tell the guy for the 3D printed motor to tell him that my wires are on top, and he might have to modify the file to properly. Here I'm not putting Loctite, but I should. That is correct. The more slots in low speed means you don't need a censored wire for low speed for cogging. There's supposed to be no cogging with these motors, so I can't wait to actually try it to see how this is actually going to react and play on the trails. And it's supposed to be very smooth and very quiet also, so they are a little bit more expensive. I got mine on special last year. Almost a year and a half now that I've had this sitting there for my build. So and I don't know if they still have them around. They should, because they were very popular for a while and out of stock everywhere. Last time I checked, they weren't selling that. I couldn't find it anymore. I looked on Asia Tees, that's where I got it, and it didn't have it anymore. Now these type of motors, I wish sometime the local hobby store would actually have them, but they don't have these type of motors in stock. One more. No, two more. I thought I only had one, but it's two more. Actually, on my hot rod build, I actually have it one like this, but it's going to be only rear wheel drive, and it is the one from RC 4-wheel drive. So it actually has the short shaft at the back of it. But I do have a GCM motor plate for the front, which is kind of cool. There we go, motor installed. I find that so sweet and looks so nice. Now we're going to install the transfer case. Web case. So there we go. Built left or right side, one bearing. So we slide that in there, put one bearing, and then put the rest of the bearing. Put 4 screws in there, and then start putting the gears. Now, I've built one of these before because on my Tonka Winnebago, I said that word quite a bit tonight. I actually got one in there. So let's open these up. That was a fun build. You get 6 bearings because 3 on one side, 3 on the other side. And these cases are exactly the same, so you can actually drop it on the right or drop it on the left. Lots of set screws. Okay. So what side do I drop it on? I think because the way the transmission is and the way this pumpkin is on this side, I'm going to have to drop it on this side. So it's equal to that, and then the front drive shaft is going to be straighter, and then the rear one goes straight to the rear. So this is how we're going to build it. I really like these transfer cases because the bearing, they slide so smooth in there. It's just like very nice. Okay. Oh, I need the smaller screwdriver. And we'll bring these a little closer. A little bit of Loctite. And we're putting the transfer case together. I'm not putting them tight right away, just in case it gives me trouble to put the other screws. So I'm putting the 4 screws and leaving it loose, and then I'll go around once the 4 screws are in there to actually put it tight. Hey JD, how are you doing? Okay, all 4 of them are in there, so now I'm going to go around and tighten up all the screws around. Make sure they're all nice and snug, and I do have Loctite on all of them. Now I can drop the rest of the bearings in there. And I have my gears. Some pins for the gears. And we're going to have to go look at the manual to find out the next steps. Let's drop the bearings in here. Come on. They all dropped in there except for one that's giving me trouble. Because I dropped it a little bit crooked. Okay, so all 6 bearings are in there. And let's go see the manual webpage. So this part is done. Now we have to put one of the gears. And they're all the same size. No, they're not. So the gear with 20 teeth goes in first. Okay, 20 gears. We're gonna have to sit there and count them. 36. Okay. 35, 36. So one is a little bit smaller than the other one, so I guess this one is the 36. That's the big one, small one, and the other one. Because I'm going to have to count. That's what I thought. The big one here is 20 tooth. First gear is a 20 tooth, and the other one is the 18. So the big one goes over here, and I do have to put one of those little wow. I need my pliers. Those are not the pliers I was looking for, but they'll do. Oh, sorry, let me change camera. So for me to put the pin into there, I have to use a pair of pliers because that pin is really close to the edge. And that's where the gear goes. So that's the big one. Flip it around. Put this one there. And then I need my shaft. So here's the shaft. Everybody needs a good shaft. Open that one up. Ba-dum-pum-pump. It's like play-by-play. So there we go. One has a little pin for the drive. Just like that. Put the pin in there. Put the shaft in there. Insert the shaft into the hole. Now we got the rear shaft here and the front shaft on the other side. And now we sandwich everything together. Did my bearing fall off? Yes, it did. Here we go. Transfer case done. Guess I should put a little bit of grease in there. Where's my grease and my syringe? There's my grease syringe. And we'll take this, pop that in there to turn it a little bit. Hey, turn. Man, I did turn it earlier. Where's my stiffer? What the heck? How come it's not turning anymore? This should not be so hard to turn. There we go. Because that motor is very stiff, I don't know. It's kind of weird. Lots of grease, lots of grease. There we go. And now one screw to marry everything together. Oh, butterfingers. Oh, the little bugger. Got to use a different driver for this one. I need the 0.0, and they don't say that at the beginning of the instruction. They don't say you need the 0.050 for this screw, but I do have one somewhere. Please stand by. Let me get my other tool. I need a 0.0. I thought I had one in this one. Okay, it's not in this one. Oh, wait a minute. They do supply you a little tiny wrench here. Duh. I'll be fine. It's been a long day. So they do supply you the little Allinki wrench. Don't forget some grease. Never mind. I find it very tight though. That's what I find very weird right now. Everything is so... It does turn, but I'm turning the whole motor, but man, is it... It's okay. Seems to be okay. She's going to be nice and stiff. I guess that's the way the motor is. So there we go. Front output shaft and rear output shaft is done. Now I just have to drop that in there with the motor mount. Let's see the instruction. Almost done, almost done. As long as I'm done before 6. Yes, it is. I really like that transmission. So here I do have little tiny set screws. So to plug the transmission here, because this is a right or left, they tell you to plug the holes here. Just make sure the water doesn't go in. And then we'll put the motor mount here and we'll set everything inside the plate pocket. So let's install those little tiny set screws. And they do tell you to make sure you put some Loctite on there. So this is basically just to plug the hole, because this is a, you can go right or left on this. And again, this one uses the Allinki. So it's a 0.05. I do have a wrench for this, but I don't know where it is right now. I'll have to find it. One. Oh. Two. Oh. Hey, Brian Taff, how you doing? Building my CMAX2 with the LRT transmission. I really like this transmission. It's cool. Butterfingers again. This is going to be so cool with the scale transmission. I think I'm going to call Stefan from the LED wheel, see what kind of deal he can work with me for the 3D transmission for this. Not the 3D transmission, but the 3D engine for it. And I want to try to do a scale motor. So of that era for that particular truck. And I have no clue what motor went in there. But I'm sure with a little bit of research I can find out which motor they had in there. I think it was a 4-cylinder. But just like any truck, they might have had some different ones. The more you pay for the truck, the different engine you get. So there we go. All 4 of them are in there. Now the motor mount. Motor mount is kind of cool. You get this little tiny plate and then you get the 4 screws with it. And that's what makes it easy to put in and out the motor is oh, wait a minute. I only need set screw on the top, not on the bottom. Because on the bottom, that's where this guy goes. Duh. I'll be okay, I think. Did another boo-boo. Went too fast. I'm actually going to be putting this body on there. The Land Rover. So it's going to not look like this, but it won't look new. I am going to do like a restored look body on it. So it should be interesting. Say what? .5 by 8. Oh, these are too small. I'm trying to find out my screws for that because the one that came with it seems to be too small. Ah, okay, I'm using the wrong one again. Thought they were the really small screws to put in there, but it's actually the little bit bigger ones. So there we go. So this is the motor mount plate for the back that actually goes on it. And now you get to install everything. So there's little holes here, little holes there on each side. And I'll show you real quick onto the the manual. You got little holes. Little holes on each side of the pocket. And then this sits right on top, and you put the two small screws. So basically you turn the motor a little bit off to the side, and then it falls right in there. Motor sits there, and then right here, that's where the two screws go, and your motor installed. So that's kind of cool that the only thing that installs your, if you want to take off your motor, you just have to take off these two screws. Well, take off the dry shaft, take off those two screws, and you can take off the motor. There we go. Servo is going to go up there. That's how high the motor sits. So I could have put the wires underneath. It should not have hit the bottom. But I'm sure once I do my 3D motor here, these wires can push down. And my 3D motor can fit on top of it. And this can go to the ESC at the back. So I still don't know where my ESC is going to fit into the truck. I still have to build the chassis. But basically, that's the truck. It's all built except for the dry shaft, but I do have to open up the pumpkin here. I did screw up and I put the wrong bearing here at inside, so I'll be taking that off real quick and changing the bearing inside offline. But that's the chassis. To me, it looks nice and sweet. Well, guys, thank you very much for watching and sticking by, and for these man, I started this at 2 o'clock and it's 5:30, so 3.5 hours. Thank you very much. I hope that this was informative to you guys. If you have any comments, write them below. Don't forget to thumbs up, and we'll talk to you guys later. And meanwhile, go out there and charge up some batteries. Go out there and have some fun and break something. Because if you're not breaking anything, you're not having any fun. We'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Cheers. Peace out.